Okay, let's open up for questions. Caleb, you've been very, very informative. This is a very enticing, very exciting to hear. This is, yeah, I'm telling you, your market is really under the radar. Actually, I don't want other people to know about it. Okay, I don't want people to bombard you because you only have your off-market listings only. You have more buyers, more investors than there are available listings at any given moment. Am I correct, Caleb? People come back to do more business with you. Your previous buyers, they come back to you, but people from overseas, they buy 3 or 4 properties at a time, all cash, just like that. People from Canada and other part of the US, they buy 2 or 3, like a buy in bulk from your off-market listings, right? I mean, does it happen on a weekly basis?
Yeah. So we have tons of buyers. So one buyer from Israel, actually, over probably the period of like 6 years that he bought properties, he bought over 80 properties from us. And he actually just recently sold his portfolio to someone else for like a pretty big profit there, because like he bought them at a good time, and those properties went way up in value. He sold his portfolio and made a killing off of it.
Wow, awesome. All right, okay, let's open up for question Q&A. Come on, Yogesh. I know Yogesh.
Yeah, I got a few. So some of it is just due to my ignorance. Some of it is because it's a new market. Some of it is because I haven't dealt with homes that are 1,000 years old, right? So just bear with me. My background on me, I bought through the network, through Seewing, new stuff, new properties. They come with manufacturer, builder warranties. They come with all sorts of stuff. I've not had to deal with any of those things, and prices have gone up. Markets have been great. It's not been easy, but this is definitely something very different from what I have done. So my first question is, you buy, you rehab, you sell. Who's the property manager? Are you guys also the property managers? Collecting rent, figuring out if the tenants paid on time, all that kind of stuff. So does your company do that?
Yeah, so we own another company. It's called ABC Property Management. So we could certainly manage the property for you. You do not, if you buy from us, you do not have to use us as the property management as well. Most people end up using us because we're pretty good at property management. The person who kind of heads the property management, though, is my brother-in-law. His name is Craig. And then also my sister handles a little bit of that too. Her name is Danielle. So those are probably the 2 main people you will talk to if you use us as for property management. Yeah.
What's your property management fee? Because when I run stuff, I have a spreadsheet just like yours. It's got a bunch of columns on it, and I account for vacancy, I account for maintenance, I account for leasing fee. So is there a leasing fee? And what's your property management fee?
Yeah, so the property management fee is 10% of rents collected. And then the leasing fee is equivalent to 1 month's rent. If you're buying these properties, though, they're already leased and rented out. So we're renting these out pretty much right away as soon as they're ready. So you don't have that fee. It's just if down the road, a couple of years later or whatever, the tenant were to move out and we need to release it, then yeah, there's going to be that releasing fee. But otherwise, to do all the day-to-day maintenance, sending out well, I mean, not the maintenance, but the day-to-day activity with the properties, talking with the tenants, collecting rents, sending management statements, and all that sort of thing. That's included in that 10% of rents collected.
Awesome. So my biggest question, and it's probably more on the ignorance side, is so this is 100 years old, right? And in my mind, nothing survives 100 years. Homes don't survive 100 years. And in my mind, any change I need to do, like I need to get a roof replaced in my house right now, and I'm getting quotes between $15,000 and $20,000, right? And if a property is $80,000, if there's some major work to get done on it, I'm afraid it'll completely eat into what I paid for the house. So when you do a rehab, what major expenses can I expect in a 5 or 10 year period? Like a roof, I know is once every 25 years. I know because I'm going to get my roof changed in a month from now. right? I already got quotes and I've studied the material and, they're 20, 25 years, there's some that go to 30, 40. But what's the major expense in like a 5 to 10 year period? Because my concern is always I buy something 6 months down the line, 18 months down the line, everything is great. Suddenly now, I've spent $30,000 to fix something. And then like at that point in time, I will never make that money up for the rest of my life. Right. I have to sell the property. Right? Yeah. So my expectation is that when you guys assess and you rehab, you brought everything up to code. You've changed anything and everything that can potentially break and cause a major problem to the new owner, right? Like, so like a roof you'll replace, a boiler you'll replace. If there's bad electrical, you'll fix all those things, and I don't have to spend 1/4 of my purchase price on any of these big fixes. Is my assumption correct?
No, it's not, but it's kind of close. So basically for a property, say we just buy a property, it's going to depend. This is a tough question to answer totally, because it's going to completely depend on that property. So if that property needs a roof, we're going to replace that roof. If that property needs a boiler, we're going to replace that boiler, or furnace, or hot water tank, electric, basically anything that that property needs, we can absolutely do. But if there is a 10-year-old furnace in there that is working and fine, and it's going to be fine for the next 15 years or something, we're not just going to replace that furnace unless you really want us to, and then we could just add that to the price. So it's going to depend on the property. So if we buy a property and the roof is only 5 years old, we're not just going to go replace that roof just so you have a brand new roof, more or less. And also when you replace these roofs, but if we think anything's going to break within the next 5 years, we're going to go ahead and replace it. So if we look at a roof and we think this is probably needs to be replaced in 5 years, we will probably just go ahead and replace it. But if we think it does need to be replaced in 10 years, we'll factor that in basically to the price. And that will be kind of, the condition is factored in basically to the price and how much rehab is done to the property.
Awesome.
Also, when you do replace, say you do buy a house and in 10 years from now, you do need to replace the roof and it costs you $15,000. That is a capital improvement. You just made your property worth more money. So it's not like basic maintenance where if you fix a faucet, you're not really adding any value to your property. If you have a brand new roof now, 10 years down the line, your property is now worth $15,000 more, essentially. So sense. You are, yeah, you're getting that.
What I'm trying to figure out is, most of us, at least me, I'm not going to fly there and look at 20 different things you have and then go on top, go underneath, go on the sides and take it. I'm not going to do all that. I'm remote. Sure. I work here. I bought stuff without leaving my room. Like it's all I'm clicking buttons and buying stuff, right? And yeah. So for me, in my mind, the way I look at it is I could walk into a car dealership and buy a brand new car and walk out, or I could go to a used sales lot and buy stuff from there. But in the way I look at you guys is like you're a Lexus certified pre-owned is what you're selling to me. You're selling to me, and this is what I'm trying to do, right? I'm not as smart as you guys, right? I don't understand a lot of this stuff. So what I'm buying from you is not the brand new Lexus. I'm buying the certified pre-owned. Why? Because it ran through your checklist of 400 things that you would look at, and you fixed whatever you needed to fix. You upgraded whatever you need to upgrade it, and now you can say, hey, okay, this is not a brand new Lexus, but it's certified pre-owned. That's why it's you're not, even though I'm buying it unseen, I'm getting your certified pre-owned sticker on it, and that's what is going to give me peace of mind. So is my assumption correct?
Yeah, if you want to look at it that way, that's probably the more accurate way to look at it, more or less. We can't really guarantee the roof or anything like that, but as far as to give you more peace of mind, if that's what you're concerned about, you could absolutely get a property inspection, and we encourage people to get a property inspection. He will tell you, while you're not the one going on this roof, checking everything, going in the basement, checking the furnace, literally just going through every little item of the house, he is, and you're paying him. It's his fiduciary duty to make sure that he gives you an accurate report on the condition of the property, and then you can make an informed decision from there. And inspectors are generally going to find a few things that we missed, and we'll just go ahead. You can just say, hey, this needs to be a GFCI outlet, like a bunch of little things, and we'll just go ahead and fix it. It's because it's not that big of a deal for us.
Awesome.
So yeah.
I just wanted to add a little bit to what Caleb just said.
Yeah, can you share full screen? Get out of the spreadsheet. Thank you.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Julie. Go ahead,
No,
Julie.
no, it's okay. Yogesh, I just wanted to kind of add a little bit to what Caleb just said. We've used a guy for all of our properties that we've purchased, Chris McDonald, I think CRM inspections, I believe he calls us. He is amazing. It is like everything he shows us, it's like we're there. I mean, we feel very, very confident. He is very non-biased. Obviously, he's getting paid to do a job and really go through the house with a fine-tooth comb. And he gives a very detailed report, photos and everything, points out everything. And then, some of the things are really minor and it's not a big deal. And some of the things that do need requirement, we come back to Caleb and his team, and they've been very, very, very accommodating for anything that has come up. So I just wanted to kind of add that just from a investor's perspective. I felt very confident in making the purchases and going forward with the inspections that come through. So
awesome.
little
Awesome.
peace of mind. I know you're used to buying new properties and maybe
Yeah,
you're not.
but let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. In both the new properties I bought, we've had inspections.
Okay.
And we found things.
Mhm.
Like there was one I did where the tub was bad and it had we had the whole tub replaced. It was brand new, right? So I know stuff happens. I absolutely know stuff happens, and it happens to me every day at home. I live in a 50-year-old home too, right? So it happens every day. But for me, it's absolutely, Caleb definitely will get inspections done. No question about it. But for me, it's like I'm like in my mind, like you're doing that certified pre-owned thing. Like you're giving me that tag that don't worry, we've got all the big stuff covered. And there's this I won't call it a stigma. Like you have to be a smart investor. You have to know your stuff to buy in Buffalo, right? Because you have to really know, like, okay, hey, what did they they changed these things. You have to know how to read those inspection reports properly and understand what is important, what is not. But I'm kind of after a little experience, you go around, you can find out, and you can get some expert help. So I'm fairly certain that you guys have got a great product, right? But it's just peace of mind knowing that, hey, I'm covered next 5 years. At least nothing big is going to happen. All right, yeah, that's all pretty much I had. There's no other specific questions from my side.
Caleb?
I have a question, Caleb, and I know we've talked about the whole appraisal issue a couple of times. On the rare occasion that if a property is being financed and it does not appraise, are you more inclined to want the current buyer to come up to the price through additional cash? Will you guys come down, or will you just wait for a buyer that's going to pay all cash?
So, I mean, it depends. Like if we're like $5,000 off, we'll normally say, hey, we'll split it with you.
Okay.
If you could come out 2,500, but like, I don't think that's ever going to be an issue. Really, like for these properties too much. So if that comes up, we kind of will
Kind of a
deal with that
case.
more or less. But I don't think like. It's not really an issue, more or less.
Sure. Yeah. Right. Okay. Just curious.
Taylor, can you share full screen and get out of the spreadsheet?
Oh yeah, sure.
Sure. So
yeah, I had another quick question. So Caleb, when you complete your rehab, right, and then it's moving from future to ready state, do you have any place where you kind of put in, okay, this is what we changed on it? Like, do you have a list, like a pre-property inspection report? Like, do you have something like that? Do you make notes and you have a file that says, okay, yeah, we changed these 20 things in this house?
So we do and we don't, more or less. So we don't necessarily have a super detailed, but I mean, for our own taxes, we do like write down, we get all the receipts basically from Home Depot or something or whatever we buy, and then we put the labor in. And I could always ask our employees basically what was being done, or if I just know off the top of my head more or less. It kind of will depend on the property, but I can get that information to at least a pretty good degree.
Awesome. Because it, in my mind, right, like, is that if I know that, hey, you did like 4 big things on it, then I don't have to worry about those 4 big things for the next decade, right? But if
so it does depend on the house. So I mean, there was one house that we did like pretty much literally everything to the house. And we put over $100,000 into the house, more or less. I mean, that was a very expensive house too. It was like a $200,000 plus house, but then there's other times, we're just putting maybe like $5,000-$10,000 into the house too. Yeah.
All right. And Julie, how have you done it in the past? Have you like, I know you don't fly there and look at them. Like, I know that, right? You're not done that. But you look at pictures, like, how are you doing it? Like, you just go.
When cause Google Maps is amazing, because I go on and I look at the picture, I look around the neighborhood. Excuse me. I like literally will drive the Google map, around the neighborhood, look in the alleys and whatever, kind of see what's going on. And then I'm also connected with Caleb Buffalo, their Dropbox. So whenever they're showing photos of properties they've rehabbed or whatever, I get those, and then I can kind of look at those and kind of get an estimate. And when all else fails, I'll just call Caleb and say, what's up with this property? And then we'll just kind of go from there. And then, like I said, the inspection guy is amazing. I mean, he gives very detailed explanations, tells you if it's, a safety hazard, if it's just general rehab, or if it's just deferred maintenance or whatever. And we just go from there. Like I said, it's been very successful. And these transition from purchasing it to having it managed with their property management system is seamless. I love Craig. I mean, he's just like, I just say Craig and knows like, okay, we're closing on the 15th, and he's like, got it. And he just takes over from there and just does everything. So it's a perfect system for us. Like I said, we're in California and not anywhere as far away from New York as we could possibly be. So it works. And we are going to get out there to see you. There was another young lady on a call last week, part of Seewing's team, and she said she had been out to see you. I've forgotten her name, but she said Cassandra, right? So we were really encouraged by her visit, and so we're gonna make a point to come see you guys too.
Thank you for your kind words, Julie. Caleb, over the years, a number of our investors actually visit with you guys. Can you share with the audience what do you guys do? Because it is interesting how you guys do the tours. Go ahead and briefly.
So basically, if the investor tells us before, like which properties in particular they're interested in, we could go make appointments with the tenants to kind of get in. Or if they're vacant, we normally show all like the vacant ones, or the ones that are future and that we're rehabbing, because those are just super easy to get in if they're vacant. And especially in Niagara Falls, a lot of the properties are pretty close to each other and not too far, because Niagara Falls is not that big. Whereas Buffalo is quite a bit larger. So we'll basically just, you could come to our home office, generally is how it works, and then we'll just drive around. We'll see the areas, we can talk about the neighborhoods, various things. A lot of times people also, because Niagara Falls is really not too far away, they'll come in, kind of do a dual thing, like they'll do some work in the morning, and then like later in the day they'll go see Niagara Falls, kind of do some more touristy things and that sort of thing. So it's good.
Awesome. Wow, we are at the top of the hour. Well, you guys asked some very good questions. Julie, really thank you for your testimonial. By the way, I did not pay her to do this.
No, it's all been very legitimate, and from someone that knew nothing about investing, it's really been a very good experience. I mean, my husband and I, we are newbies at this, and really just took Seewing's lead. I'm an investigator, so once I heard the information from Seewing, I did my own investigation. I looked up you guys, I checked the Business Bureau, I checked Seewing out, I checked the Buffalo Turnkey out, I did all my background work. And then, had another meeting with Seewing. Actually, I think it was a year ago this month. And since we went from no properties to now we have 3 properties, cash flowing properties. And so it's been a great experience. Looking forward to getting the next couple ones with him too.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, Yogesh, you asked some very insightful questions, Yogesh. And Caleb, you're being very transparent. Really appreciate that. Just goes to show you, right? I mean, you want to deal with a turnkey company that 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 you can trust, right? I mean, you freak a lot of people out. We're buying sight unseen 2,000 miles away. So, it's hard to trust people these days, right? So really, Caleb, thank you for over the years. Our investors keep coming back to you because you guys are honest. You guys do a good job. You guys being transparent, and you guys have a very good system all under one umbrella, off-market properties, and you guys provide great returns, great cap rate of 7%, cash on cash return of 15% or more, total ROI around 30%, rent to value ratio of more than 1%. Listen, you just need to understand what I just said. All the numerical formulas that a real estate investor will look at is off the chart, is above the benchmark. You guys understand? A lot of people think, oh, Buffalo is not, you get no appreciation. That's not the case at all, especially Caleb said during the pandemic. So anyway, enough said. I think you guys have no other further questions. I think we're at the top of the hour. We spent more than 1 hour. So very informative. Caleb, thank you so much for your time. And you really just reassure us that your market is an important part of the real estate investors portfolio. Whether you are an investor buy 2 or 3 or 4 properties from you all at one time, like Julie, or other investors that want to diversify from high appreciation, low cash flow market in other areas of the U.S. in Florida, Texas, whatever, they can come into your market and get the high cash flow portfolio from your market, rebalance someone's real estate portfolio. That's how I look at it, right? I look at the big picture, right? Caleb, you agree about this whole analysis?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, so we deal really mostly off of repeat customers. My dad's been doing this for 30 years. You see some other like flippers and people who do this. They're here for a couple of years, and then they like end up screwing people, and then they're like gone. They're fly-by-nights. But we've been doing this a very long time, and I plan to be doing this for the next 25 years as well. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, you guys doing generational, multi-generational business from your father to you, Caleb. You're so young. I don't know how. You learn so much. You look a lot younger than your actual age. Don't tell us your age. Caleb does a very good job of consulting with our investors. He's very hands-on. He's very, very communicative, answer phone calls, answer emails very quickly, provide a total customer service. Am I right, Julie? Total.
You are totally right. And I remember the first transaction I did with him, a property on Michigan, Caleb, and I kept apologizing because I kept saying, okay, I've never done this before. So what about this? And what about that? And I'm sure you've heard the questions like 15,000 times, but he was always super patient and super accommodating. He never sounded like he was trying to rush me off the phone or whatever. And so I really appreciate that. Being a new investor, it really gave me a lot of comfort that, okay, you're not just trying to like sweep me under the carpet and get to the bigger and better name or whatever. So I really appreciated that, Caleb.
All right. Any other last minute questions, guys?
No, I got some, but I'm gonna do a separate call with Caleb on some
Sure,
deep dive.
sure.
And and I need to understand the markets a lot better, right? Like what's the difference between Buffalo and Niagara Falls, and then there's some other towns over there, and I saw some towns have more expensive houses, lower crime rates. Some have low prices, high crime rates. It's stuff like that. Like it's all about a balance. So I'm gonna call and I'll have some specific questions just on the areas. Yeah.
I'd be happy to answer.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Caleb Canazzi from Buffalo Turnkey, amazing, once again, presentation. Even I learned a lot as well. And thank you, all of you attending. Thank you so much for for your time. And so thank you so much. My name is Seewing Yee from the Yee Real Estate Network. Have a nice day. I will see you on the other side. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And thanks.
Bye-bye.